guys?
My name's Maddie.
I'm Mayumi.
I'm Nicole.
Juliet.
I'm Peyton.
We're the Pheromones.
I want to punch it like a girl, punch it like a girl. I want to do it my way, do it my way now.
How'd you guys all meet?
Going to local shows, all of us like separately like found each other, and then we just started jamming, and then we're like, we should make a band.
Was there like oh shit moment during like a jam session where you guys are like, we should start playing at shows?
I remember people would come up to the garages and ask like if we had a band name. We'd be like, nah, we're just jamming. And then it like turned into Peyton kind of being like, I have some ideas for a band name. Like, do you want to hear them?
Peyton said Pheromones, and I was like, yes.
We had like a High School Musical like lemonade mouth moment where we were all like, oh my god, yeah.
Who were some of your favorite guys artists growing up?
My Chemical Romance.
I would say Paramore, Pat Benatar, and Heart.
I didn't listen to any rock when I was little. It was pop and then K-pop. But I didn't get into rock music until I started playing guitar like a year ago.
I'd say like growing up like when I was younger, definitely like Red Hot Chili Peppers. I didn't have a phone or any like computer, so I just listened to the radio. My favorite band's Paris. Also like bands like Wage One, like Bad Omen.
How do you guys think those bands like influence your sound now?
We all have like very different music tastes. Makes us very diverse in like the type of music that we like to write. Cause like we like to dabble in everything.
Everything I tend to like write is just whatever I'm listening to. They're all like rock songs, but they're different styles. I want to make an 80s punk song. That was our first song, Play It Like a Girl. And then we did another one that was more like grungy. And then the next one I was like really into Midwest emo, like Origami Angels.
How has your guys' band evolved from those first jam sessions to like where you guys are at now?
The main thing that changed was like we started writing music. Our first show was entirely covers. It was presented to us by like a club called like Sparks Magazine for their release party.
One of the biggest ways that I feel that we've evolved from like when we first started is when you're performing, you can't not make any mistakes. It's about looking at each other and like learning to like take cues. At our last show, I remember we slowed down a whole bunch in tempo and like there was no hesitation from anyone to all slow down with it. So that's like really good musicianship.
I was just say like growing as a musician, I was absolutely brand new to bass. Being able to like write stuff now, we've come a long way.
Beyond past just like the technical like ability of being able to write your own original songs, how does it like feel to go from the jam sessions to people show you guys a lot of love?
We're really lucky in the fact that we grew pretty quickly compared to a lot of bands. I literally just feel blown away. Like I will like just have imposter syndrome.
People will be like, oh my god, you're in the Pheromones, and I'm like just getting my groceries. It just makes me feel silly. I'm like, me?
I had it happen to me the other day. Somebody said Julie, and I thought it was one of my friends, but I didn't know her. She was talking about how she felt represented because, you know, I'm black.
In your guys' opinion, what do you think is the draw?
If we said that it wasn't because we're like an all-girl band, like that just kind of be like denial. That's why like we've been putting a lot of work into living up to the attention that we've gotten. We've been really taking our time to make things good.
I feel like our band is like also super diverse, made us stand out.
One of the other big reasons we don't take ourselves as seriously as some of the other bands.
Our main thing is having fun before anything
Exactly.
else. We've been told numerous times people love our shows and feel the most comfortable because it's a safe space. People learn to mosh in our pits.
As an all-girl band, do you guys know where I can find like a red box around here? Because I need to return these DVDs and I've been asking around like everywhere.
We actually own Redbox. Accepted this interview because we need you to return that.
Yeah, there's like 20 men outside waiting.
How's it been for you guys in such like a mostly like man-dominated space of bands and stuff in the area coming up and like trying to make a name for yourself?
Intimidating, but very confident.
Definitely is empowering knowing that like we got here the same way that everybody else did, and also just it makes like little me smile. I looked up to like so many female artists in rock.
What's been your experience with the Orlando scene?
I love the Orlando music scene.
What are some of your like best experiences with the scene?
KJ making that video about like disability, like inclusivity within our show. That was so sweet.
We had Cole as our photographer for one of our shows.
She was very pregnant. A bunch of guys made a barrier around her so she could take pictures.
The band that played right before us, it was Gentleman's Crow. They asked us to headline for them. The bassist, I was like, hey man, we're playing Black Sheep, the Scott Pilgrim version. I was like, can I borrow your bass? So the exact one, but it was a 5-string, not a 4. He just like took off the 5th string.
I feel like no matter what show we've played at, if I'm missing like a cable, other bands are always like, oh my god, yeah, use mine. It makes you feel really good knowing that you're not gonna go to a show and be like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Like everybody's got your back.
I think the coolest thing for me was us being able to like host our own shows, and then people show up for Halloween.
Yeah, the Halloween.
That was so fun that everyone like came in costumes. It just felt like a really big party. People who weren't familiar with the scene to get into it, because it was just like on campus for free.
What about like negative experiences, terrible interactions?
So basically what inspired the lyrics for Play It Like a Girl was multiple occasions. Some like male musicians have come up to us and kind of tell us how we should be doing things, what we should be doing. I understand maybe like their intent wasn't to be negative or anything.
Some plain old mansplaining.
Exactly.
So what are some of you guys' most memorable shows?
I would say the Halloween show
Halloween.
because that's the first time I ever crowd dived or crowd surfed, and it was at my own show, so that was pretty cool.
Another show that I really enjoyed playing was Rock and
too.
Roll. I think it was for like such an awesome cause too. It was really cool to play at the Hanau. I've paid to see like bigger bands there,
Yeah.
and like being able to like share that stage. I was like, whoa. Indie night was really cool because literally almost all of the bands on the bill I follow. Crazy to go from driving to class and blasting like their songs to like actually playing a show with them. And that was also like, one of the biggest crowds we've ever played for. I think Indie night was my favorite.
My favorite show is probably our first show. So many people came.
There were so many
crazy.
people there.
Yeah.
That
So
blew
That was nuts.
all of our minds.
Yeah.
You guys are familiar with Kermit the Frog.
Of course.
Why doesn't he wear clothes?
Because he has a little collar. He doesn't need more than that.
Yeah.
Frogs
Should we
don't
go
wear
to, like,
clothes.
He makes money. He pays taxes.
Does he?
I would hope he does.
He's an artiste. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to
It's
wear-
performance art.
How do you guys decide what songs to play at each show?
Lately, we've been moving towards just playing more of our originals in terms of covers, gearing it towards like the
Whatever
demographic
we're
that we
doing,
think is going to be there. We have another show coming out that is at a career fair. A lot of people here might be like a bit older. We used to do a lot of like 80s rock covers, so I'm like, we should just bring that back.
What is your guys' favorite song to perform?
In terms of like a cover, I think my favorite song, we did a version of Miserlou, like the Agent Orange cover of Miserlou. We transitioned that into These Boots Are Made for Walking. That whole bit was like my favorite thing to play. I could get more like creative with like how I move my body because I'm not thinking too hard about like what I'm like actually playing.
My favorite to perform is the first song we wrote, Play It Like a Girl, because I can like look out in the audience and like a lot of people know the words to that song, so that's super fun to perform. And it's also kind of just a fun song to sing because it's very like sassy and sarcastic. I like singing a lot of like punk songs because it's less about the notes that you're hitting and more about the way that you're saying them and the impact you're using with your words. My favorite cover we've done is Wet by Daisy and the Scouts. I love the lyrics, they're so funny.
My favorite is Crybaby. It just goes all out. I love that song so much.
Boots, but also like really like Sex on Fire and Heartbreaker.
I think my favorite cover is Wet, but I think that the one that we're gonna do next, like the Amy Winehouse one, is definitely my favorite because I've added my thing to it. Like I'm trying to do like little fills, and I've never really been able to do that before. So that's really exciting to me because it's like more groovy.
I write stuff too. Can I show you guys something?
Yeah, it's like yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that!
No way!
Yeah.
Great, right?
Oh my god!
Feel free to use that.
We'll sample it.
Yeah, we'll all
Permission
sample
to
that.
use it.
For 2023, what are each of your guys' personal as well as like overall band goals?
I think the big one is recording and just doing more gigs.
Get to like a record label, like a local
That'd
one.
be dope.
Like my personal goals is just to be more creative in the way that I write, and I really want to pick up piano again.
I picked up piano the other day. We probably have like the same piano.
Yeah, I think we do.
I'm learning like Moonlight Sonata and Rush E.
Miami, what about you?
I think my main goal is like just to force myself to learn more stuff, even if it's just covers and just like straight up theory. It teaches me a lot of different ways of like looking at lead parts.
Get better at like obviously like mainly double bass drum. It's just kind of hard with like practicing drum kits. I can't just like practice whenever I want. So I'm kind of keeping up with that by focusing on traditional snare and kind of doing like Martian snare. I'm like interested in doing like a percussion group that does mainly just Martian band stuff.
My personal goals improve as a musician. I've started at the ground and I'm like starting to get there. I'm really pushing myself to learn as much as I can within this year. And then for a band, write more music.
What would you guys say to all the girls out there who think that there's not a space or an audience or a demand for girl bands like you guys, or think that they can't start it because they feel intimidated by such a man-dominated space?
We got you, baby.
Yeah, I started so late because of that kind of stuff. Just do it. Even if you can't find other people like it, work through it. You will never regret it.
Doing anything as a woman in a male-dominated space makes me feel so empowered.
Like I've noticed a lot of like girl bands that are bigger than us, have been around for longer, like have started following our page out of nowhere, and it's just really cool to see like girl bands around.
And
I
like
guess.
supporting each other.
Yeah.
I know for me like because I technically don't identify as like a girl,
Yeah.
but I still identify like with the womanhood as like I've grown up experiencing all those like experiences they all have. Kind of just seeing yourself equal, I guess, with like the men, like kind of just unbothered in a sense.
Why should people listen to the pheromones?
Why not?
Why not? Why wouldn't you? Come on, please, 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 please.
We don't have the music out yet, but please. Because the only way you can technically listen to music currently is by seeing us live. It's gonna be a really fun, cool, sexy, great time. If you go to a show, you will hopefully have fun, meet new friends, and also
Find love.
To listen to the pheromones because we provide a safe space and we stand for some cool things.
It was awesome interviewing with you guys. Any final statements before we wrap this up?
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah,
Such
thank
a
you.
great
This was
opportunity.
awesome. So what you're looking at here is a beautiful snail, and his name is Hernandez.
for mine, you have one of the two dogs in Twin Fantasy.
Mine is the other twin fantasy dog, and mine has a thong, but like my arms are really long because Miami didn't want us to embrace in the end.
I did a snare drum and some drumsticks that low-key look like vibrators.
I did a frog, and one of my friends, she likes frogs a lot.
Where can people follow you on social media?
It's called the Pheromones Band on Instagram.
Hi ho there, Kermit the Frog here, currently in jail for tax evasion. I just want to let you guys know that you should go follow Bazaar. There's some really cool guys who don't do their taxes.
We're the pheromones and we approve this message.